Hi, welcome to The Shed. We're here with saxophonist Chris Potter. Chris, we have a couple questions we like to ask all of our artists. Our first question is, what are you listening to currently?
What am I listening to? Wow. Well, every day, now that everything's connected to the internet, you've got the whole world's library at your fingertips. This afternoon, what was I listening to? I was listening to a Clifford Jordan record I didn't know, and a Stanley Cowell record I didn't know, and a Richard Davis record, the bassist. So yeah, it's kind of these Strata East. I got into this Strata East kick, but of course there's a lot of music that I'm checking out. On the way over here, we were listening to an old Sonny Rollins record. Then I put on an Art Ensemble of Chicago record, but the whole kind of range of music, I guess, jazz and classical music and popular music, whatever, folk music. Yeah.
Awesome. What advice would you give to a student? What do you think is the most important thing for young musicians to work on?
Well, if we're talking about someone who's trying to learn jazz and the jazz language, I found that the most helpful thing, and then maybe the most kind of crucial thing when I was first starting out, was just listening to it a ton. Because it's sort of rare to find a situation where kids grow up hearing it all the time. But the more you expose yourself to it, the more you hear in it, and the more beauty you get out of it. That was the experience I had anyway. And also trying to learn to play it, I thought the best way, is to see if you can sound like they do on the record. Figure out somehow what the tune is, what the form is, what the chord changes are, and then try and copy what they're doing and get the notes, but also get the articulation and the feeling, and I think that's kind of the best way to learn the jazz language,
Awesome. Another question we have is, we have a lot of students that are practicing, and they often come to us and say, I don't feel like I'm getting any better, and they're plateauing. Any advice for those?
Mm-hmm. That's a tough thing. I've always felt like, it's been, I started when I was maybe 10 years old playing saxophone, so now I've been doing it for 36 years, and I still don't know if I know how to practice. But the thing is, I get out the horn and I find something I can't do, and then I try and figure out a way to fix that problem. And maybe it's slow going at first, and I feel kind of confused and not sure what to do. But then once I start to zero in on something, I get interested. Hours go by, So that's the main thing, is just whatever you have to do, something that you're interested enough in that you're going to spend the time working on it. One thing leads to another, leads to another, leads to another. You don't see the progress day by day, but then if you look back 5 years, you go, wow, I can't believe I was there and now I'm here.
What do you feel is something that young musicians often overlook in their early development that you want to let them know? Make sure to check this out.
Well, it's hard to say. It varies, of course, according to the person very, very much. But I would say, just as a general rule, once you start getting kind of serious about music and really trying to figure out how to do it, it can start to become maybe less enjoyable if you get hung up on what you're not able to do, And I think it's important to keep that joy in it, and to at least spend some of the time practicing just playing something that you really enjoy the sound of, and and that'll help to reinforce the things you're working on, and it'll encourage you to just to keep going. So don't forget about the joy.
Absolutely. One final question. If you could go back and tell a younger version of yourself, give him a little pearl of wisdom of something that you could do as a younger player, what would that be?
Wow, that's interesting. Don't spend so much time worrying about things that really you don't have that much control over. Just focus on the music and spend the time actually working on the music and less of the, you know, neurosis. But I guess that's, you know, something that hopefully comes with age. You learn to go, okay, maybe I don't need to worry about this or that. I just need to do the best I can, and that's all there is, you know.
Well, thank you so much for chatting with us. Check out his new record on ECM. It's a great record. He's got a lot of back catalog to check out. So thank you so much.
Thank you.